Hopefully everybody's having a wonderful day. I do want to start off by saying I'm proud of the organization and all of our players and everybody a part of it for the season that we had. I felt like coming into the season, there was a lot of clouds over our team, losing Paul George, Kawhi coming in with an injury, so many different new additions to our roster. We were a team that was counted out from the beginning. A lot of people didn't know where we were going to end up and thought we weren't going to be a playoff team and different things like that. So I'm proud of our unit and our group for not only fighting through all of that, but finding a way to have a successful season. The Kawhi injury was a big blow for us as we, went into the second half of the year, and then going into the playoffs, fighting and losing home court advantage, and still somehow pulling off a 7-game series and prevailing without James Harden or Kawhi Leonard. You know what I mean? So I just want to come out there and say congratulations to our entire organization and team for such a wonderful year. To start us off, though, we have Happy Go Splat. He says, "Hi, Mr. Andreessen. BI went out and proved himself big time to end the season. Is it time to start building around BI, or do you still have faith in Kawhi and James? And if it is, how do you plan to build this roster around BI?" We're finally here in the offseason where some of these questions can now have general answers or some type of answer for you guys, and that's exciting. I'm sure we are in a position where a lot of our roster is going to, have the ability to test free agency. So until we get back the results of player options and team options and, different guys testing the free agency waters, we won't really know how we're building our roster, who we're building it around, and what direction. But I do expect major changes to happen, whether that's going to feature Brandon Ingram, whether that's going to feature Kawhi and Harden again, whether our roster has none of these guys, I can't really answer now because free agency is a two-sided sword. So obviously we have to have an interest in bringing certain guys back. And because of the success that we've seen from a lot of different players, there's interest there. I can tell you that. But the other side of it is that there is a free agency and there is a market for players. And we have to do our due diligence to make sure that that market is aligned with what we think is appropriate for the direction we're headed into. So Brandon Ingram, Clint Capella, possibly James Harden. There's a lot of guys that are going to have the opportunity to go into the free agency market and see what their value is. And it's up to us to make sure that our stars are aligning to pay these premiums going forward. The one thing we don't want to do is we don't want to be a team that's capped out, a team that's paying hundreds of $millions to a couple of different players, and we're barely in a playoff mix, or we're barely having the success that we see. We want to make sure that we go into the offseason and properly manage our assets to the best of our ability. And one of our assets is going to be our cap flexibility going forward. So, again, Brandon Ingram, spectacular. But because of that, he's going to go into the free agency market, and teams are going to be interested. And so we have to be able to gauge what's appropriate for us and also what he's looking for. So it's going to be interesting to say the least. The next question that we have come from Lyric Perkins. He says, or she says, "This is more of a so question for the league commissioner. There have been rumblings about a possible fan favorite, the random event generator, returning next season. Can you give us any insight on the status of this beloved feature?" So yes, a lot of people have definitely asked about this. Every episode, there's been at least one comment in the comment section about the random event generator. First thing I want to say is shout out to Celtic LG and Attention to Detail. They are the creators of the random event generator. What I was doing in the first season was I was trying to buy time to see if they come out with the new 2025 random event generator, but they haven't, and I'm not sure when it's going to drop. So for year 2, season 2, we will just use the random event generator for 2K24. Hopefully that isn't too much of a problem. Hopefully there isn't anything that I'm not thinking of that will hinder us. But I'm glad that y'all love that feature, and I'm glad that there is some excitement because it is one of my favorite things that the Attention to Detail community came up with, because it just adds a new, different, unpredictable feature to the game that can get a little predictable. 2K definitely has some predictability in what they are going to do. So shout out to Attention to Detail. And if you haven't, go subscribe to their Patreon and get in tune with that, because it will definitely be a feature you will love if you're into this type of team builder. Next, we have Dylan Kane, 7957 Media. After such a promising playoff run without Kawhi or Harden, Is the front office plan to run it back with a hopefully healthy roster, or is Kawhi's injury history too worrisome and making you consider a bit of a roster shakeup? I am going to be as transparent as possible. Because it is the free agency period and it's the offseason, there's so much that we don't have control over. Like I just mentioned with the first question, the double-sided sword is, we have the chance to bring guys in and bring guys back, trade players, and do different things. But the other side of that is because of our roster having a lot of free agents on our team, with a lot of player options, there's also a world where we can want to bring back players. We can want to bring back Capella and Ingram and Harden, but these guys can say, hey, we want to go over and play over here. We want to go over there. They're giving us this amount of money, and this is good enough for me, and I like this situation. And that's just out of our control. So until we get a handle on what we have, a concrete foundation of our roster set in stone, it's going to be hard to really say exactly what we're going to do. But like I said before, I would expect the Clippers to look somewhat different going into the season next year. That's as much as I can say, and as much as I'm willing to say, because, again, there's just so much out of our control. But I would expect the Clippers to have a different look going forward. Thicky Bricky. After a season that saw your team overperform in every way possible, even after multiple injuries, rotation changes, how will you try and push that mindset into the new players and staff that come into the building during the offseason? To be quite short and frank with you, you can't get into the building without a certain mindset. And that's one of the things that we're going to key into in this offseason with staff and player personnel, is making sure we bring a certain type of mentality and attitude into the building. We had a really good year last year. Like I talked about all season long, it was very refreshing to see a team fight through adversity constantly. We had a lot going on. We had a major midseason trade. We had to bring in a bunch of new bodies. We went through injury after injury after injury. We still prevailed. We had everybody counting us out. In a season where we could have easily folded and nobody would have been surprised by us not having a really good, successful year, we decided to fight through that and, go against what everybody was saying and how everybody else was counting us out. So we got to make sure that we keep that mindset all throughout the organization, from the front office to the coaching staff to the trainers to the player personnel, and make sure that that's a theme and a part of our culture versus us having just a really solid year. That's all the time that we got for now. Like I said before, I appreciate everybody. We had a magical season. This offseason is going to be one for the books, so make sure y'all stay locked in. All right, y'all. We got some good news. We got some bad news. The bad news is the offseason was supposed to be a 2-part type video. And as you can see, because we are already in free agency, y'all won't really be able to see the first part. The good news is I think the second part is the part you want to see. Now, there were things that happened and transpired through this first phase of the offseason that we can quickly recap and go over, but the meat and potatoes will be in episode 2. So some of the things we have to go over, you will be able to see by the thumbnail, but we'll go through it. The transaction report. Let's talk about some trades and some movement that happened. Trae Young is officially a San Antonio Spur. He was traded basically for all of the Hawks picks back from the DeJounte Murray trade, along with Keldon Johnson, Stephon Castle, and Harrison Barnes. Harrison Barnes and Keldon Johnson, they were more salary cap, because Trae Young makes so much money. And yeah, that was pretty much that. And then they get Stephon Castle as well. Re-looking at the trade, adding Stephon Castle could be controversial, however you want to slice it. But also you now have Vic and Trae Young with a lot of little cap flexibility, plus Devin Vassell. So I think the Spurs are going to be okay in the long run. Also, in part of this trade, one of the Hawks trades was one of the Hawks draft picks from this year, the 2025 pick, was a 6th overall pick, which we'll get to the draft recap. Another trade that we had was Marcus Smart, a first-round pick, which was the 13th overall pick of this draft. Brandon Clark and Vince Williams Jr., plus a future second-round pick, went to the Blazers for Jeremy Grant and Robert Williams. So the Grizzlies have a strong team over there out west, where you have Ja, Desmond Bane, Jeremy Grant, Jaren Jackson, and Zach Edey. Now you also have Robert Williams in the backup center spot, with G.G. Jackson coming off that bench and whatever else they do in the free agency period. We're going to try to at some point do a pivot for the Blazers because Marcus Smart probably is more valuable with the last year of his deal being on the trade block and potentially going to a playoff team or a contender either during this offseason or at some point during next season before the trade deadline. Another trade that we did was the Thunder giving up a 2025 first round pick, a 2025 first round pick is another one via the 76ers and the Heat. I think these were picks 15 and 16. Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, and a second round pick via the Hawks for Kuzma and Corey Kispert. The thought process behind this deal, we had some stuff aligned for them to swing much further for the fence. There was a trade where they were possibly going to get a Kevin Durant, but I'm like, man, that's a little too much, a little too rich. The thing was, did the Thunder absolutely need to make a trade? No. But I did it because they were running into a situation that they're going to continue to run into every year in real life where they have these abundance of draft picks. They had 3 first-round picks and like 2 second-round picks, and they just didn't have the roster room to bring in 5 more players. So what we did was basically give them a power forward and Kyle Kuzma who doesn't hurt anything that they do, and then we gave them a sharpshooter and Corey Kispert. Kuzma don't have that many deals left on that deal. The Wizards needed to trade him as well, and they got draft capital that they were able to take advantage of. Nobody in that realm or range for the Thunder was going to pay them any dividends. They still have Nikola Topic and whatnot from the last draft. So we went out and got them Kyle Kuzma. That was just some of the best stuff that we could figure out for them that made some type of sense. And then last but not least, y'all, the main thing, the main part of the thumbnail, the most exciting news, we traded Kawhi Leonard, and we traded him to the Orlando Magic. This is the disappointing part of the first part of the offseason video not being able to transpire for y'all to watch. We went through a whole thing about all of the teams that could align with possibly acquiring Kawhi. I was trying to find a team that could put him in a position to where they didn't need to tax his body too much to have success in the regular season, where they can coast and ease through the season. A team that could afford the last 2 years of his deal, and a team that wouldn't really gut up their roster too much. OKC was on that list. I think I have the list in front of me. The Magic were on the list. OKC made that list. The Warriors were on that list, and the Grizzlies. And the best package came from the Orlando Magic, which gave us the 7th overall pick, Jonathan Isaac and Cole Anthony, and a late first-round pick that was around pick 23. And again, at this point, we had to really give up Kawhi for quote-unquote pennies on a dollar because of the health issues and the amount of money he's going to make. There wasn't a long list of teams that was going to, again, gut up their roster or mortgage their future. The Magic essentially gave us 2 picks that they didn't really need. They only had the 7th overall pick because if you remember, Paolo Banchero missed the first 2 or 3 months of the season, and that really gave them a tough start. Now they're going to the next season with Paolo healthy, and you have a Suggs, Franz, Paolo, Kawhi, Wendell, with KCP potentially coming off the bench. We'll see whatever happens there. They are going to be a nice team on paper. We'll see what happens. But again, a young team that was locked in with their money, with their young stars being locked up, and essentially just trying to make a move to put them in contention. At the end of Kawhi's deal, they're still good. So again, 2 years left on that deal. Paolo will only be 24. Franz will only be 25. And Suggs is going to be a restricted free agent. I think he's only going to be like 25 as well. My assistant GM want to say hi. Say hey, mama. Say hey. Say go Clippers. Go Clippers. Clips reloaded. Just recapping the NBA draft because there were so much trades. Cooper Flag went number 1 because the Pistons won the lottery. The Hornets got Ace Bailey, so they now have Brandon Miller, LaMelo Ball, and Ace Bailey, plus Mark Williams. That's a lengthy starting 5 unit right there. Nets got Dylan Harper, and then the Wizards got Nolan Traore, and VJ Edgecombe went to the Jazz. My big man out of Duke went to the Hawks. We got Igor Demon from BYU, who I really like in real life. Drake Powell, Rocco, Jaleel Betha from Miami, the sharpshooter. And then what else did we do? We also got Will Riley from Illinois. And then our last first-round pick was Kwame Evans. So A lot going on, and that was really the basis of it. The Spurs, they had a bunch of draft capital that we wanted to allow them to make moves with. You see that they end up being a Hawks pick, so the Hawks used number 6. I think they might have had number 12 themselves or got 12 from the Spurs. I can't remember. And they did a bunch of picks. I let everybody go on a cap hold front, right? And the reason I did that is so we can go into the offseason with a fresh slate. A fresh slate. We can bring back Harden, Ingram, Capella, and all of these guys. There's no problem doing that. But I wanted to really see how much money we had all together. We have $96.3 million in cap space. So we have a position to really bring back and strategically put together this team around what we have. The difficult thing about the position we're in is that we have extreme amount of youth. So we went in this last draft and we drafted 3 basically almost one and done guys. We had 2 one and done guys and a guy that just came back for his sophomore year. So we drafted 3 guys, 19 years old. We still have Cam Christie, who's going to be 20 in his second year going into the next season. And we got some supporting cast players and like Jonathan Isaac, Chris Dunn, Cole Anthony on the last year of his deal. Don't know how long he's going to stay on the team. If he does, he would probably see a bench role that will have him looking to come in and score and whatnot. The rest of this team is really empty. We don't have a go-to guy. We don't have a best player. We don't have a big man. We don't have defense yet. So we got to kind of go into this free agency period and try to find a little bit of everything. One of the things that I do think I want to do potentially is like talk to Brandon Ingram. The only thing about it is, like we talked about before, is like, do I really want to pay Brandon Ingram at 27 years old, which is not a bad age, damn near $40 million a year? As you can see, his contract would only go up. So the last year of that contract, he's making $45 million. That ain't the most terrible thing in the world. Our biggest asset is going to be our cap flexibility and trying to make sure that we are smartly moving with our salary so we can absorb bad contracts from other teams and maybe take some picks along with that. So one of the things I'm looking at potentially is kind of trying to get over on the Magic. Putting the Magic in a position to where they have to match us on a Jalen Suggs deal. Jalen Suggs is only 24 years old. He's a 6'5" guard who's really good defensively. I kind of like the idea of trying to bet on one of these restricted free agents, trying to make the most of our money and making the Magic, who we just did the trade with, trying to make them have to match a $30 million salary, which coincidentally is what he's trying to seek or ask for in real life. So I think one of the first things I'm going to do here, y'all, I think I'm going to give him $30 million over 3 years, a 3-year, $90 million deal for Jalen Suggs. I might even go 31 because I really need to put the pressure on the Magic. You know what I mean? I'm going almost 31.5. Definitely can't front load it. I'm not mad at doing it flat out. I'm going to offer this contract, y'all. I'm going to offer that to Jalen Suggs, put Orlando in a position to have to match us. And the reason I like Jalen Suggs, and this is the current theme I kind of want to go for, is the timeline. He's, again, 24 years old. At the end of that contract, he would only be 27 years old. But I want to put us in a position where we are not the youngest team, but I still want to I want to coincide with the youthfulness of our team. I want to have some excitement. I want to be able to defend. I want to inject some new energy. I feel like last year we were extremely old with Harden and Kawhi. Even Capella was 30-plus years old. Nick Batum was playing rotational minutes. Daniel Tice. I want to tap into the youth that we have. Bringing in 3 19-year-olds, having a 19-year-old from last year who's going to only be 20. Like, we're extremely, youthful. I'm liking even, where's my guy? Naz Reid is another guy I'm extremely interested in and who I may be giving this second offer to. I really, really, really like Naz Reid on this team. I'm not mad at 24. So I'm going to offer that to Naz. And I think my last offer has to be to Brandon Ingram. And I'm a front load Brandon Ingram. at 40. Matter of fact, I'm a front load Ingram. You know what? He wants 39. I'll front load it at 39 so that the last year, you know what? I'll go up enough so that last year he's making 34. So it would be 40. So we pay a $40 million tab on him this year. That would leave us with about 56. That puts us in a tough predicament because we still need to go and get BI. All right. He wants 39.4, right? Front loaded, and we'll go there. We'll start negotiations there. And that's day one for us. We'll look around the league. They all are agreeing. To come here. So essentially our offseason, the big names that would dominate it, well, hypothetically, because the Magic can match Jalen Suggs and take him away from us, but that would be a big get. Naz Reid and then Brandon Ingram. Again, it's not a team that's going to run off with the Western Conference, but it's a team that allows us to have 3 guys under the age of 30 coming in, meshing with some of those young guys that we have, and then trying to take the rest of this money to fill the holes with some veteran players who can do good enough job in their rotation requests. So as of right now, that's how we look there. I want to look for some guys who may not want the biggest amount, like a Luke Kennard at $3 million. I mean, we might have to try to take a swing for. That. I want some veteran presence in our locker room. Steven Adams would really be good. I would talk to Steven Adams on a 1-year deal, potentially. Giving us a big body and some size. Now, again, I'm not sure that I'll be able to bring all of these guys on, but we just going to throw offers in preparedness for the Magic to match Jalen Suggs. Like a Jabari Walker wouldn't be a bad guy, but I'm not paying him that much money. I think Gary Payton Jr. is not bad at all. He's like a Swiss Army knife guy. Bojan wouldn't be bad. Joe Ingles, I think, is always a nice basketball vet. Man, we thin at the options, y'all. We thin with the options. Even Kyle Lowry is looking for $11 million. I wouldn't mind taking a chance on Ousmane Dieng, but he is looking for a bag. The potential got this shit twisted. Like, Bryce McGowan should not be looking for $8 million. We're going to go into the sliders and look at some of these contract stuff. We went in and tried to make a few adjustments on the sliders. The sliders they look damn good to me. As far as like trying to balance what players are going to look for and want. So you got a guy like Ben Simmons only want $8 million, but like some of these are still high. Trey Jones still wants 14. I don't know what to do. I can't take the sliders down too much for players who have potential and everything, because you don't want teams to be getting steals. You know what I mean? I don't want to sign Ousmane Dieng for $1 million. A guy like that with all of that potential. I'm just like, I just stole him. Like, nah, but at the same time, Ousmane Dieng should not. Where is he? At $20 million. I don't know anybody that's paying $20 million, Brody. I'm going to try to see if we can talk to Nikhil. We can't even sign these guys. They would take us over the salary cap. Holy shit. What if I took away Luke Kennard? Yeah, the Brandon Ingram contract, y'all, I don't know if we can do it. Or I wish I was live. Which one of these guys am I making a mistake on? Nakai is celebrating that. It's funny. So he gave them 16 and 8. He gave them 16, 8, a block. He shot 35% from 3, 90 in 29 minutes. It's not bad numbers. What did he look like in the playoffs? What is his last games that he played at the end of the season? He won a championship. He was killing. Naz Reid may be the guy we can't sacrifice. Do I stop playing games with the Magic and say, you know what? Y'all can just take Jalen Suggs. It won't even let me do it with Suggs. He's the only guy I can't undo because I guess he's restricted. Ah, did I make a mistake, y'all? I think I made a mistake. We didn't need Jalen Suggs. I hope the Magic. I hope the Magic match that money. I am praying that the Magic match that money. I think I made a mistake, man. I think I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done that with the. I should have went after a Fred. I should have tried to give Fred like a $19 million deal that the Lakers are doing. Let him come in as a vet, 31 years old, and just run a lineup with like an Ingram and a Nas Reed instead of, oh man, this could be bad. I could get fired for this. Javonte Green, maybe I get Javonte Green, man. He can rebound. He's small for his size, but he can rebound. He's going to have some speed. We still got Uncle Jeff Green we may could bring in. Chuma Okeke ain't that bad of an option. What is his 3-point shot? Because Javonte Green, 70. I might as well bring in Javonte Green, man. 82. Yeah, we gonna look at Javonte Green with the minimum. We're gonna try to bring in Jeff Green as well too. All of these guys can come. Oh, we can't get Steven Adams. Oh, we need to find a backup. This is the actual free agency. They didn't match it. The Magic let us do it. Oh my gosh, this roster is awful, y'all. I am going to get fired. I'm going to get fired, y'all. This roster is not good. What was I thinking? We really need, we need you to pop off, Demon. We need you to pop off. Holy shit. We need to get some side. And I'm really pissed we weren't able to get Luke Kennard. So affordable. Shout out to the affordable tab. Monte Morris, I have to. We talent for talent. You don't get a chance to get the those type of values. That's just too valuable of a deal. He's too steady of a guard. They are saying that Clint Capella is affordable. Why is this affordable? Can I bring him back because he's my guy? I don't know. Why is he affordable? If I can bring back Clint, if they're letting me go over the cap to bring back Clint, we might be in business, y'all. We might be in business. What else? Let's see what else is going on around the league. Bron is there. Timberwolves got Jimmy. The Rockets got Sengun. The Rockets matched it. The Rockets paid Jalen and Sengun. They paid Sengun and him the same amount, basically. They gave Jalen a little bump up, which probably just because they had to match the money. Horford is going to the Bulls. Trey went back. Looney is going to the Lakers. Typical Laker offseason. Justice Winslow is back in the league. Went back to the Heat. Yeah, we got Clint Capella, y'all. That is a blessing. All right, this is great. This is great. We got Clint Capella. I don't know. They're letting us go over our salary cap. I guess we have bird rights. Clint Capella is a good get for us. We needed depth at that center spot. So now what we may do, we got 3, 6, 11, 15, 16, 17. We got 17 guys. They may make us release some guys. If they do, Kobe, you probably not making it. We're gonna do it, bro. We're gonna do it. Boom. Okay. We're thriving. We moving along. Cool. This is pretty much our roster, y'all. Jalen Suggs, Monte Morris. I gotta see. What would they do if I put GP2 at 2? Oh, he goes down significantly. The one thing I would say about us, y'all, is we fake can be all right defensively. I don't know what the starting lineup is going to be. I know Suggs is going to start. Dunn has a big chance of starting again at the 2. Isaac at the 4. I'm probably starting Capella, and I'm probably letting Nas Reed be a 6-man again, but he's still going to out-minutes him. He will just start. Capella will start. He'll play majority of the minutes as a 6-man and just see how it goes. I like the idea of still having Nas Reed off that bench. Kyle Anderson, they got chemistry from when they played in Minnesota. The only thing I need, or the only thing I'm wishing, I need a young guy to pop off of that bench for me. I need a bench scorer. I need a young guy who can be an aggressive scorer off the bench. I don't know if I don't know. Cam Christie, can you be it? Can my 7th overall pick be it? The money's so messed up that watch some of these guys, like somebody gonna get Harden for nothing. Player progression. Ingram is regressing once we give him the deal. Same with Nas Reed and Callian. Like, I just did a horrible job, y'all. I did a horrible job, man. Shout out to Cam Christie. He went up 4. Oh my goodness, y'all. Jetty went up. Suggs went up. And Capella went up. Come on, Suggs. Come on, Suggs. Are we going to the championship? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Will Riley. Look at my youngins. Look at my youngins. It's never good to win the G League championship, though. I'm not going to lie. It always seemed like you're just going to suck in the real season. Now we're playing against Cooper Flag in a championship. I'm not even expecting us to win or putting the pressure because Detroit has sucked for the last decade. Their young talent is just too good. They probably had Cade Cunningham playing. They got Lonzo Ball playing in the G League with the Pistons. 2K is insane. Igor left on a good note. So did Cam. Kwame did almost a triple-double. Will Riley up and down, but that's okay. All-Star. I hope that in real life. I ain't going to lie. Damn. Darrell Peterson. Cam Boozer. AJ, he ain't dominate. Darius. They gave him the cut for real. All right, they got Will Riley in this class too. Why you got him in both classes? I'm gonna have to go in there and fix that. All right, before we get out of here, we got to make some roster cuts. We got 17 players. We can only bring 15. We got to cut 2 guys. We are going to let go. I might have to let Kobe Brown go. The contract wouldn't really hurt me. I might have to let Uncle Jeff Green go too. Jeff Green ain't finna play. I'm going to let him rock out somewhere else, compete or something. And do I really want to let... There's no other option. Like, Kobe, we would keep your brother. But I don't have any other option. I mean, I could let Jetty go. But I think he might actually play. Kobe, what your numbers look like? I like to look at it from this number. Everything is going up. Defensively, what you got? Not bad. The help defense IQ is what's throwing me off. We got an 81 3-point shot. The accuracy, the ball handle, shot IQ, perimeter defenses. Didn't think it was going to be like that. Help. Yeah, I got to let you go, Kobe. Damn. We're going to do it. Yep. Farewell tour for LeBron. I got some other work to do, y'all. I got to figure out this rotation. I'm going to play. The first game is against the Magic, and we're at home. Jalen Suggs against his old team. The power rank got us 23rd. That is it for the offseason. I may get fired.